My name is Vadim, and today I will be showcasing you the Journal subsystem within the WebSchool platform. You can find the Journal tab on the left here in the navigation bar. The Journal is a tool that allows teachers to manage their courses, monitor grades, report, and analyze student outcomes. We have a few different tabs here. We have the Journal tab, the Curriculum, and the Students tab. The Journal tab lets us monitor grades, create new lessons, and this is where the majority of the functionality lays, and therefore we will return to this in more depth. Next, we have the Curriculum tab. This Curriculum tab displays all relevant details about the student's curriculum, including the lesson topics for the entire year. Next, we have the Students tab. This tab will show the whole students list for a classroom, and it will also give you the option to report and analyze the students based on a variety of factors. Here, we can do general on independence, perseverance, pace, in-class participation. As well as history, we have passion, academic performance, any problems, and how to improve. Now back to the Journal tab. This section has a wide variety of features that we're going to explore. This current Journal tab is for the teacher of History Class 9B. And we can see the list of students down the left-hand side here, as well as the lessons for January. Let's go ahead and explain some of the functionality that you are seeing. The first number here is the date of the lesson. If the following two circles are clear, that means there is no homework set for that class. If the top circle is shaded, it means there is homework due during the lesson, and if the bottom circle means that the teacher should give homework after the lesson for another date. The lesson is opened by clicking the triangle underneath. After starting the lesson, we can navigate to the Journal tab here, and we have a few extra functionalities. We have the student's progress, we can click on the student's profile, we can allow the student whiteboard access, and we can see if the student's hand has been raised. We can also update the student's marks if needed. Let's go ahead and create a lesson for class 9B. We can do so by clicking this little plus button here. First, we want to start off and we want to pick a topic that's in the curriculum. For this one, we're going to choose colonisation of Australia. We then get some information about the lesson plan and its contents here, and if any equipment is needed. Since this lesson plan was created beforehand, these two options here are pre-filled. However, we have a low, below average, average, above average, and high options of importance default, and the type of lesson can either be a test, a final test, a common lesson, a test outside the system, or a video conference. We're going to leave it with the original two options. We can then choose to leave a comment if needed, and a little text box to see if we want to put in the timetable. For this one, we are, and we're going to create a lesson for the date. Let's do the next one, which is February the 2nd. We want to go ahead and click Save. As you can now see, a newly created lesson has popped up in our Journal tab here. Let's go ahead and enter our newly created lesson. And let's head over to the Assignments tab here. If there are already assignments pre-created in the lesson plan, they would show up here, and the teachers would have the ability to either edit or delete said assignments. However, since there is not, let's go ahead and create some homework that will be due for the lesson. We have a few different task types. We have the text, a form, or a test. For this one, let's do a text. And for the title, we're going to give it Exploring the Impact of the European Expansion. And then we can enter whatever we would like here. We already have something pre-ready. We have the instructions here, the word limit, and what the students will need to complete. And then if we scroll down, we have a few more options. We have estimated duration. Let's do, it should take around 2 hours to complete. We have the student visibility. We have any time, after previous completed, when lesson commences, after lesson completed, and for teacher only. Let's do it after the lesson's completed. We can leave some teacher's notes if we want. And then also, we have the students list here. All the students will be automatically added by default. However, we can remove students if we want to create a differentiated assignment if needed. We then have if the test is going to be optional or a custom due date. We're not going to tick any of these for now, but for the due lesson, we're going to click the one that we just created, which is February the 2nd. We're going to go ahead and click Save. Let's go ahead and create another homework due for the lesson, but for this one, we're going to make it a test. We're going to give it another title, and we're going to do Causes and Effects of European Expansion, and then we're going to choose the test in this platform here. We're going to select the test, and for this one, we're going to do Causes Effects of European Expansion. Add that one in. Make sure it's for the correct classroom and all the users that we want. We then have the attempts permitted. For this one, we're just going to let them have one. We then have the option of start at the teacher's order or a due date and start date. For this, we're going to do start at the teacher's order. We're not going to give it a time limit for this one. There's going to be a random order, which let's put that one in, and a result visibility. We either have hidden, total score only, score per question only, or full details. We're going to give the students full details. We then have a few further options. We have results become visible only after test due date, make it a quest, or journal marks. There are various different types of questions available to use on the tests in WebSchool, and the majority of them can be auto-evaluated. This can be very time-saving for teachers and thus can focus on creating more creative and detailed lessons for the students. We are going to go ahead and click the journal mark setting. After clicking this, we get a few further functionality, and by turning on this setting, these tests can be automatically evaluated and the WebSchool Journal automatically updates grades based on the results. We have the importance of the test, of low, below average, average, above average, or high. We're going to keep it as average. We're going to make sure the marks are in term 1, and we're going to add it into our newly created lesson, which is February the 2nd. We then have the evaluation criteria, and we're going to add a new one in. We're going to choose A, B, C, D, or E. We're not going to leave a comment, and we're going to choose 90 for A, 80, 70, 60, and 50. We're going to add that one in, and then click Save. Next, we have the Equipments tab. In this section, the teacher can add in equipment that they believe is necessary for the intended lesson. Also, if the lesson plan already included equipment, it will be automatically incorporated into this section. Let's go ahead and add an item. For the student, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create, say that the student needs a pen and a pencil. And we're going to say that they're going to need 3 pieces. We now have the list of students who need this item and the confirmation on the right here. Currently, it says 0 out of 6. This means that no student has confirmed whether they are bringing an item. This is then a useful tool so a teacher can prepare for a situation where students forget or can't bring a certain item. Next, we have the Sections tab. Not only are assignments and equipment for a lesson automatically imported from a lesson plan that is connected to a selected topic from the curriculum and can be easily customized as was shown, the same is with lesson plan content that is usually divided into multiple sections. WebSchool makes content descriptions, learning elements, and students' progress seamlessly connected as it facilitates a transparent learning process. So, on the Sections tab, we have learning elements from the attached lesson plan that we can turn off and on if we want to make a lesson shorter or if we have figured out that some parts are not suitable for us. And lastly, we have lesson evaluation, where we can leave feedback that gets sent to the lesson plan's creator. WebSchool's grading system also supports a range of non-standard grading scales, as we can see here in the My Organisation tab. Now we have the options to update the marks of the students of the newly created lesson plan. Let's go ahead and update a student's mark. Here we can now say if the student was absent, if we're not giving them a mark, or we can choose from A, B, C, D, or E. Auto attendance is also available if a school uses WebSchool's Access Pass, which is located under the Infrastructure tab on the side here. You can watch more about this tool in a separate video. Now we're going to give them an A. We then have some further options. We have the level of importance. For this one, we're going to choose high. We can upload a file or leave a comment. We can then evaluate the student here based on independence, perseverance, their pace, and in-class participation, and leave a comment if needed. And lastly, we can write some behavior. We can choose, let's say, positive, and we can write a comment saying Fatim was very well behaved and assisted his peers. And then we can go ahead and click save. Right now, we can see a few things here. We can see the letter A was the mark, the number 5 was the level of importance, and the asterisk means that some other further comments or evaluation was provided. And lastly, on the right hand side here, we can see the average mark calculated from every lesson. Let's go ahead and show what the newly created lesson looks like from a student's perspective. If we go on the left hand side here and click on school and then student planner, and we go over and we go to the date of when the lesson was created for, which was February the 2nd. Here we can see the newly created lesson. We can see that the backpack has a 0 out of 1 checklist, and if we click on this backpack, we can see that the student now knows what to pack for the lesson and what items they need to bring, and they should confirm this when they're packing their bag. Parents will also have the ability to see what their child should pack for each school day. Next, we can see the 2 homeworks that we've created. If we click on one, we can see the whole thing, the instructions, the guidelines, and then if we scroll down to the bottom, we can see that the student can leave a response. Let's add a response here and name it final essay. We can leave a comment if we need, or we can upload the file. And lastly, we can see the student's mark for the lesson on the right hand side here. All information from Journal, including attendance, performance, and behavioural information, will be used to generate term and annual reports. Additionally, principal, psychologists, and year advisors may be automatically notified when necessary. Behavioural information is also used for ongoing students' wellbeing monitoring and profiling for a psychologist. This concludes the walkthrough of the Journal subsystem. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.